So I'm at the I'm in a great
at the bottom of it to just wedge it in.
so I'm in a great cafe today called Medina in Aberystwyth, and I'm with a lovely couple, and they've got some great questions, I imagine, to ask me about the Tesla machines, and in specific, I think they're going to be asking me about one of my daddios, which is this beautiful Detroit 1919. If I can open it, it shouldn't be locked. They're never locked. No, they're never locked. They're never locked. No? They're never locked. Because I never lock them. I'll tell you why I never lock them. It's more the keys there as the feature. So this 1919 Tesla machine, which you might have seen Mr. Clyde's car with his little eyepiece. So, which I sold him one of those. Okay, so let's go for it. Let's go for it, Gary. And I've got my glass of kombucha. Thank you.
Advertising.
Perfect. No, well, yeah, I don't make anything for this, but this is the best kombucha in Wales because of the water.
Okay, right, let's get to the question. Right, it's 20 questions in total, so we'll try and get through them swiftly.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Short and sweet, yes.
Which technology?
There is no short and sweet answer, but I'll do the best. Yeah.
Which technologies do these machines use? Because you've got Tesla, you've got Eldin, and you've got the Arsenal.
Yeah, correct.
So which technology does
these are pure 1919 Tesla patent of 19.
Tesla.
Yeah, the 1910 patent of Nikolai Tesla.
Yeah.
No Darsenval. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the Slovenian machines did have an option to go Tesla and Darsenval, so there is something to that. That's older because Darsenval and Udin is another something. But I specifically work with the 1910 Tesla patent, which is mechanical induction motors, dual induction.
What about the?
Same as these. All of my machines. I don't mix it up unless you're going into some of the diathermies, but which we're not. This is my forte, as it were.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, yeah,
so they're actually plasma technology then?
Yes.
Is it actual plasma?
It's ether. So it's so you know they talk about energy. Well, that's not true. This is essentially ether, and it's the potential is from the ether, which is the plasma. So the plasma is the ether, and the ether is the plasma. If I'm correct, I'm not the smartest man in the room, but it's ether-based technology.
But it's a technology that was used at that time.
Yeah, they might even say there's electrons, but I don't even believe that now. There's such a somewhere along the lines, electricity took a turn for the worst. But I like this because it's coming from a pure time when electricity was coming from a place of truth. So they were like, they wanted the right harmonics, no harmonics. It's very clean energy.
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay,
right, yeah.
So
It's ether. Do you know what ether is? Yeah, ether is when you look up and see all the little dots. That's Wright called it like life energy. It's the potential of like what's all around us.
It's out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there.
It's in the atmosphere.
Yeah. So we're harnessing. There's another word that goes with the potential, but this is pure ether. Based technology.
Okay. The glass.
So someone might say there's electrons and protons. I know there's ozone in it, so ozone's a side effect, and there's also lymphatic usage as well. But primarily, when they talk about it, they talk about ether.
Okay.
It's the main thing.
Okay, next one.
Yeah.
All the different glass shapes.
Yes.
Yeah. Why, other than to contour to the shape of the body, why do they have so many different shapes of tubes or the different gases inside them and the different colours of glow?
Yeah.
What's the reason behind that? Why so many different shapes and sizes?
Well, so shapes and sizes first?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So these sets, before these sets were created, they originally had diathermy machines, which were like these large mahogany units, and they'd have this cable coming off the Tesla coil, and it would just be pure glass going into this handle that they had. So when they brought these out, these were like small units. They were about $50 each, which was quite a lot of money back then. The larger units were much more the mahogany ones, which I've got one of those. And so the doctor and the naturopath or the drugless sanitarium or the physician was using these particular electrodes for different body parts. But then when they started to make them as a commercial idea, they were then thinking about beauty. So there'd be one for her, you know, to be able to use at home. So it should have the hair, the comb, the neck. It's quite interesting that they had the neck, and which I always call the neck thyroid, and the cauterizer. So they would just come with 4 electrodes, basic. That was for the home use of the household wife that was at home keeping the house good. You know, that was the tradition. So it's very traditional. But then the larger sets, which you have there, the 22 electrode set, is because it was created for the doctor. So the doctor back then, he was a gynecologist. He wasn't just compartmentalised, was he? He was a gynecologist, he was a dentist, he was everything. So whatever you needed, if you needed herbs, if you needed chemist, if you needed magnetic homeopathy, electromagnetic homeopathy, if you needed homeopathy, whatever you needed, he would serve you. So the larger sets have different electrodes for different body parts. So there might be a full set of dental electrodes. The dentist might have had a set.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, you didn't have all the specialities that we have now. A doctor did everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your internal electrodes for things like your ears. You know, you could use them on the eyes.
So they literally are only just for accessing the particular. There's nothing different about them.
No,
in any way.
They're just specifically for specific. Yeah. So it's like, okay, this one's for the ear. It looks like it's shaped to go in the ear. This one's for the dental. There's about 10 different dental ones. So one might be for the gums, one might be for pyorrhea. They're all for different parts of dental work.
Yeah. So yeah. If it looks like it fits, to do the job,
yes,
then it's okay to use it.
Yeah,
it's not like
no, great. No, that's great. No, that's really good. So, for example, there's a urethral one. You know, for putting in, which you wouldn't really, well, you could use that actually. Like, there's nothing wrong with actually using that, and you've got to make contact before you switch it on. But that one, you would actually consider, well, okay, I've got something going on like an abscess. Well, maybe I'll use something that can get into that point. Yeah. So as long as it can get there.
So it's really just for the purpose of wherever it's going.
Yeah.
There's no difference between them.
No, that's a great question.
Okay. But what about, some have different colour lights, so don't they? Is there not sometimes more of a violet colour?
So some of them, so there's no gases. They did use some gas. So the extra gases that they would use would be radium. They would use neon. But when you see these modern ones and they got argon, that's spoofy. No. There is a gentleman that does that, but I think he's in keeping it with the fact that that's out there, so today. But they weren't using argon. From my research, they were using neon and radium. Now, the reason which is an orange, so if you see an orange glass, that's neon. And say you're working on something, but you need a little bit more bump, you know, and maybe this is working, but you want to put a little bit more depth in there, drive it a bit more, and you might want to use the neon. Now the radium, that's another story, because you know that's something worth researching. But they were definitely working with radium. Now a lot of people today would go, well, like it was just quackery, but I think there's much more to it. So the radium is something that I'm just like, wow, what, you know, there's more. They even use mercury. My friend one of my engineers in Holland's got a full mercury set, which is just amazing. And they kind of say mercury gives life or take a fly. So that's quite interesting as well, because it's kind of like alchemical. So they also use different colours of the glass. So they might use a white for lymphedema, they might use a blue for pituitary, they might use a red for inflammation, they might use a yellow for for something else. I can't remember what the yellow is. They'd use a green. So they were doing colour therapy as well. Is there
a reason to use a particular one with a certain colour for a particular thing?
Well, yes, for sure. Like if you're dealing with lymphedema, you might get, you've got some sort of inflammation that's showing up. Why wouldn't you want to use I'll use my white electrode. The French went a little bit. So what you've got to bear in mind as well is it started off in America. So the American tubes in here, and you'll see it in a minute, I'll demonstrate it, the tubes in there are very strong ether. Like, why is that? Is it because of the beeswax? What is it, the way they built it? I think the intention is everything, isn't it? Especially in the region, right? So, the difference between a Rolls Royce being made, in outside of Bristol to, Toyota in Japan, there's going to be slight variations, isn't there? The culture, the mindset, what's going into that. So the French were a little bit more like, okay, we're going to bring, we're going to add a timer. Well, no one else added a timer. They're going to add all opal, like pearl opal sets. They did whole sets that were opal glass. Yeah. Like, why did they do that?
So to get through this, what are the different colours, and what would each colour be best at?
So the violet is just pure violet, but sometimes it might show up as a little bit of blue. There might be like slight tinges, but essentially it's just pure ether.
So is that best for any particular thing? Are there any particular colours that you would use for a particular thing?
Well, that's what I was saying about the neon. Say you were like, okay, I need something a little bit more stronger. You might go for a neon, or maybe you need something a little bit stronger. You might go for a radiant.
If you don't have a neon tube in your kit, then
well, I can get you one.
Yeah, so you can get the
yeah. That's what when she was saying about the French military. That's what the French. Oh, and by the way, that machine's landed as well.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So how long?
What question are we on now? Number 4.
No, we're on number 5.
On number 5. Good. We're getting through them.
We're getting through. We've got 15 more to go.
Yeah.
Right. How long would you use it on a specific body part?
Oh yeah, that's really good. So intuition's everything, isn't it? So don't use it for longer than 6 minutes. I've got a book in my Telegram group that you can print up, and you can read all the different minutes per different body part. So, for example, arthritis, you might want to do that for 5 minutes. Most of them are like 5 minutes. Some rare occasions it's 10 minutes. That might be a bit more acute. And so I kind of say consistency, small amounts consistent over a long period of time is more than it's better to do that consistent.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm working on this scar tissue, or I'm working on an old injury. My mate was working on an old injury that he had, and in about 2 weeks he got it down to 80%, and he's working on his mum at the same time. But as a rule, 6 minutes, so 6 minutes in the morning, 6 minutes in the evening, break. What's important is 6 minutes, then break for 1 hour, because you've got to allow the testicles to cool down.
Yes. So 6 minutes at a time.
Yeah, but if you're like, I just want to do 2 minutes or a few minutes, I might just do when I go home, I might just do 3 minutes on my neck.
Yeah.
Just as a nutrition, because really what you're doing is you're adding they've got a word for it. In the 1900s they spoke a familiar way, didn't they? So they regard it as you're adding, people had something where they were feeling a little bit, they needed something just a little. It's not the stimulant's the wrong word, but a little nourishment. They regarded it as like a food. So it's like you're giving yourself another kind of food.
Yeah. So I've seen on your videos.
Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
So
I'll send this to you afterwards as well, so
perfect.
then you've got it for historical record for you,
perfect.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So then it's all there.
I've seen
you. But he's taking notes anyway.
I've seen you where sometimes you wave in it.
Yeah.
Is it important to move it, or can you say the wrist?
No.
Could you just
keep it there? No. So I've got a friend. No, I'm just showing them the importance of making contact. That's why I'm doing it. I'm showing make contact. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be like, ooh, make contact.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to work on this arm because that's the vascular vein to the brain. So I like to work on that arm. You could do a skin brush and then work on the arm.
Yeah.
Right. And but say I'm truck driving, which my friend does, my mate George, and he'll come in and he'll work specifically on that wrist for 6 minutes.
And you can concentrate.
No, it's important to concentrate it. What I'm wanting to show there when I'm doing that video is that just how you use it. Just don't be afraid of it. Get it on the body and work with it.
Okay, right. Next question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. So, in a nutshell,
yes.
What does it actually do? Or, in other words, what is it best for? What are the things that if you wanted to buy one of these machines?
What? Just one thing?
What's it? No. Or if there's more than one thing. What is it? What is its speciality?
Okay.
What is its real resistance?
Okay, so it's pièce de résistance is all things metabolism. So do you know what that means?
Yep.
Yeah. So all things cellular health. So then that would include then being able to rest and sleep. So anything to do with your body feeling optimum and being able just to rest, or just being able to, it speeds things up so you can calm things down. So you can peel back those layers and get to the best, strongest version of yourself. That's in a nutshell. But I could list each individual thing. I'll post something later where you can see they've listed all things.
I think people would want to know that.
Yeah, there's a list of things. I always post it. I don't think people read them, right? But there's I'm just going to pause this a minute and we'll come back. This is part 1.